Right moment, let everybody do their thing, say their piece, get Valentine's Day, watch Black Panther the movie, do all that stuff that folks do. But I couldn't just let Black History Month pass being a black man in America and not say something, about Black history, about the struggle, about the strides, the transformation, the part of society, that includes black folks such as myself or, folks that are, you know, American history. I mean, it's one thing to celebrate black history, you know, but it's another thing to recognize and acknowledge that black history is American history. Crispus Attucks, Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, Denmark Vesey, W.E.B. Du Bois, Muhammad Ali, Jackie Robinson, Langston Hughes, Maya Angelou, Harriet Tubman. These are all American history. You know, there's no separation. There's no one without the other. And it's cool, to celebrate black history, acknowledge, the strides and, the advances that we've made. But I think it gets lost sometimes, and I don't want people to forget that while we are celebrating black history, these are things that have benefited all Americans, just like the struggles and things that Muhammad Ali went through, with just, having the right to be a conscious objective and losing his world championship and, having to fight back for it in Africa, of all places. No, was it Africa, Thriller, Manila? I forget which one it was. Forgive me for my history, get my history all messed up. But the point is that the strides and strains that the struggles that, black folks had to do, it benefited all American people, the rights and, the civil, struggles that everybody went through. No problem, Pixies. It was a pleasure popping through. The reason I didn't stay too long is because I had to do this live stream, which is very important. Just talking about Black history and the fact that it is one and the same with American history. We fought wars as Black people, alongside of Caucasian Americans and all the best things about America and the worst things of America we've shared together. As I see other people going live, and it's just I don't want it to get lost. Thank you again, Pixie, for coming by, stopping by. I appreciate that whole fact and whatnot. But yeah, I just think it's something where I don't want it to get lost on people. Like I said, we can celebrate each other as Black people, but the reality is that we have made strides, in American history. I don't want Black history to be this separate thing where, okay, look at what these folks did over here and look at the strides that they made and look at the things that they done, because as a Black man in America, I am an American citizen. I was born an American sister, sister and citizen. Black, white, we all great. Exactly. But at the same time, to throw on the flip side of it, there is a part of it where you don't want to give up so much of yourself as if to say it doesn't matter about being Black in America or, the Black culture and stuff like that and whatnot. Pew, pew, what's going on, drone worship? And the world is round. Guts and glory, what's going on with you? I appreciate you for coming through. I was just basically highlighting, basically the fact, well said, the children of God, we red, blue, and no human race. Yeah, no, definitely we all the human race. But also, too, is not to have the cultural appropriation and the push and the separation of the two, as if to say that we're not equal, because like I said, all people that were born are equal. Stay right here. Wow, you're funny. You're funny. I don't know. My first word was a story. Was the sorry? What? I don't know why my first word was sorry. No, you don't have to say sorry, vlogger. You don't have to say sorry. I'm just taking the time out to just give my thoughts and say my piece on it. I don't even know if I have to be on here long. I just wanted to echo the sentiments and whatnot. It is something that's been said many times. I'm saying, as far as Black history is American history. How do you separate the two? Unless you want to just totally be on the construct of race. Now, don't get me twisted. It is some racial division, there's racial tension, things that are not going to go anywhere. But at the same time, it's to understand that as human beings, we've all made a contribution to, this great land here of America, and there is no real separation. As much as we may try to make a separation and say, well, we're over here and they're over there and this one is over there, as Americans, we all contribute, be it you black, be it you white, be it you gay, be it you straight, be it you religious, whatever it may be. Thank you, Pioneer. Yeah, no, it is, because how do you separate it to say that it's different? As a black man, when I do something or somebody has done something, they make history. These are things that affected all Americans, stuff that Frederick Douglass did and Harriet Tubman, and moving on to many generations later, the stuff that Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, Serena Williams, Oprah Winfrey, just the many that have come before us, the Otis Boykins, the Elijah McCoys, the Benjamin Beneka, the George Washingtons, the black one, the Lewis Howard Latimer. I mean, like, it's so many names, there's so many heroes, there's so many people that have, definitely affected American society. We still countries that use weapons and the cunning use of our flag. Well, I mean, that's another issue all in itself. But the thing with that drone worship is that we all share that, the good and bad of America. There's no separation. There's no separation between the two. We may like to think there's a separation. We may like to think that there's one swath and one community over there and there's one community over there. When a black person does something and it's like effective, like the George Washington Carver, the patents that he holds, the stuff that he gave away to the government, the things that he's done, has affected all Americans, so that's what it is. The problem is America is the biggest bully. Well, that's another situation all in itself. Drone worship being a bully, or whether it's not a bully and whatnot, that's a whole other topic, a whole other situation. But we all share that, drones. That's pretty much what is an empire, different. Well, yeah. I mean, you're talking about different empires. I covered that part of what you're talking about above. Well, yeah. I mean, drone, you make some fair points with that. There's some things with America. The history of America is not beautiful. It's not pretty. It's not all, like sunshine and rainbows. There's some ugly things in American history that exist, especially when we talk about slavery. It's truth to that drone worship. We haven't learned from a lot of our past mistakes, but hopefully people are willing to see. Sometimes it takes a lot of loss. It takes a lot of strife and strain and struggle and stuff like that for people to actually learn. Sometimes these lessons have to be retaught throughout the generations. The lessons of equality. Just treating people with human decency, not abusing power. The abuses of government, the abuses of society and stuff like that. How people see each other. Like different discriminations and stuff that come. And that's why I say, when it comes to American history and Black history, it's all one and the same. Hey, what's going on, Gray? Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. It's one and the same, because to try to separate the two is to just try to say that, like people, existed in a vacuum and didn't contribute to the society. No one reads history anymore. Yeah, Pioneer. Well, it's people out there that care about history and still do. It's just not as big, as what it was. But there are people out there that still care. There are youngins that want to know. There are, people out there who want to stay woke or be conscious about certain stuff that's going on. But I do encourage people, from a historical standpoint, to know your history, know where you come from, know your culture, know how the cultures intertwine with each other. Not only, like, for me as a black person, it's important not only for me to learn my history and my culture, but to understand how it entwines with Indian culture, with Spanish, with Anglo-Saxon, however that comes in. Honestly, the real problem is, what is the real problem, drone worship? What are you saying? Honestly, the real problem is just put together the history behind us. If we don't, we will never. People, sometimes it's better to just completely start over. Well, the whole hopes of it, drone worship, is not just to start over, but to start over on the right foot. You learn the lessons, you learn from the pitfalls, you learn from the good things that have been done, and you try to pass it on to the new generation and actually, make something better of it. To try to be better than the next generation. In your thoughts, why do people hold on to racism? Why can't people just get along as one people? Well, to tell you the truth, Greenwood SC, sometimes people hold on to the construct of race and things like that, and social status, or like culture, where you come from, because it makes people feel like hey, what's going on, Mel? We got another Mel in here. Um, what I believe with that, division gains certain people power. It's harder for people to have control over certain populations if everybody's included all in one. If you have people who are constantly moving in and out and just seeing people from a human being as a status or something like that, it's harder to control when all the cultures come together. I'm just Mel, not Mel. Ha, funny, Aussie Mel. Well, Aussie Mel, thank you for coming through. People can get along. It's governments that have divided people. Sometimes you can say that it's governments that have divided people. Yeah, sometimes it's people that have divided people. It's people that accept the constructs of race and certain cultures and status in society and have put it above everything else. Don't ever think that the government has more power. The people make the power. We just have to give it to the wrong people. I agree with you to the extent on that. Our drone worship. Sometimes people give their power away. Usually, the folks that are powerless and think they have no power are right because they've given away their power. And that's what happens with that. I wish all would get along, but that would never happen. Unfortunately, in this world, a lot of different things have to change because some people hold on to the insecurities or the bigotries or the prejudices, the races, phobias that they may have. Some people are empowered by it. Some people have strength, in their particular communities because of it. Some people, stand the game more by seeing people in conflict and divided. Okay, well, I'm going to get back to writing more quotes from. Wow. Okay. Do what you have to do, drone worship. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate you for appearing in my chat and sprinkling some words of wisdom, some words of controversy as well. Pew pew. The earth is still around as the world goes around, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you like what I'm saying. If you care to support, you don't have to throw the thumbs up. Some people say hit that thumbs up. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can do that. As I heard a thud out the window, somebody's doing something got nothing to do with me. 5. There you go. Thank you. But like I said, it's not. It doesn't have to be a long conversation about this, but this is something that I just wanted to echo the sentiment that, when it comes to it, there's no separation. It is a separation that is almost, an illusion that there is a difference between, Black history being a part of American history, if you want to say that. Hashtag round. We're gonna debate that though one day. Drone worship. Some people will say, okay, how could you say, Black culture is the same as American culture? Because you have white folks over here and you have Spanish folks over there and Asian folks and different stuff like that. Well, because if it affects and it's a part of what we do in American culture, if it becomes a part of our clothing, if it becomes a part of our language, our lexicon, of living, how do you separate it other than to say, well, maybe this is back in that country there, because there's a lot of Black folks in the country who are not moving back to Africa, and myself being one. Like I said, I love, the African people, African American myself, but I'm not picking up back and going to the motherland just to try to prove a point. I am American, I'm blessed to be born in this country. I don't always agree with all the things that it does, but at the same time, this is where I am. This is what it is, Find your channel, do Shalisha Southern, had to find your channel. I'm happy that you came. I'm happy that you're here. I appreciate you. And shout out to Shalisha Show. I think I was on one of her live streams not too long ago, so I would like to. Well, you're looking very efficient and still like your boss. Yeah, I try to be a boss sometimes, but this is something that was just serious to me. I just wanted to represent that in that way. The reality is, it starts off with a very young age. You learn to divide it. We were in school, prep kids, stuff like that, nerds, etc. I agree with you, drone worship. It does start off early. Racism is taught, phobias are taught, prejudices are taught. What I'm saying? It's instilled in people's minds. A lot of times, folks don't see color. When they're coming up, when you're born, when a baby is born. Thanks, Guts and Glory. I appreciate that. When a baby is born, a baby is not. Baby doesn't know the idea of black and white and red, blue, yellow, all that stuff. Baby's just trying to understand life and see the world. As time goes on, as certain ideologies are taught or certain behaviors are encouraged or discouraged and whatnot, this becomes the constructs that we accept, especially when it comes to race. Race is a human construct because when we're born, even though we have different colors, we are born as human beings. You know what I'm saying? We're all born as human beings. I know you have some people saying, you know, I come from this culture, I come from this world, I come from this region, I come from this lifestyle, I come from this generation, which is true. But at the same time, these are human constructs and things that we've created, you know, maybe because that was the norm in societies, you know, in the societies that we come from and the places that we are. Jerome Worship says, see kids as they grow up, showing our history, and let them start to manufacture their own perception. Yeah, well, exactly. You want them to get their own perception. You want them to see what's true, what's really going on. In the process, if they're introduced to what that history would happen. Well, I mean, I say this, Jerome. You know, I'm surprised that you're still here. You know, it is a lot of things that need to be taught, you know, retaught and understood. You know, the understanding that needs to be given to the next generation. You know, hopefully they can become better than what we were in the past. Hopefully they can overcome some of the pitfalls, a lot of the pitfalls that we've overcome. But then also too, you have to remember we live in a world of opposites. We live in a world where one side is taught, you know, the love, the equality, you know, the acceptance, the you know, the teaching, the oneness, you know, of humanity, and then there is the division taught on the other side. As long as this earth is spinning, I think the two will exist. So the best part is to try to find some balance in between. And Buck Thoughts, what's going on, Buck's Thoughts? I appreciate you for coming through. You know, another black man in here on the black topic, you know, Black Power. Let me not say Black Power. But that was a joke. I'm not trying to, you know, knock somebody else, but I'm glad I am a black man. But seriously though, it comes down to, all right, what's up, H Top Music? I appreciate you. You know, but the fist is like a symbol for black, so we're gonna leave it at that. But yeah, nah, I just wanted it to be understood, at least just my thoughts and my feelings on, you know, the black culture is that it's so relevant and it's so inculcated in American history that I don't see the separation. I see the separation. Yeah, what's going on, Green Bay Wacky? I don't see the real separation between, you know, black history being separated, you know, into the thing. It's like there's no White History Month, you know. Do the Caucasian have a hand signal for being white? They might have one, but I'm not gonna make an attempt. I'm not gonna make an attempt, Joe Worship, to figure out what that symbol is. But like I said, if a fist is like a symbol for black, let's just leave it at that. You know, that's from a rap song actually. Yeah, so that's what that is. My thing is not to try to create a separation. I mean, I agree with thank you, Green Bay Wacky. I agree with you know, black history being acknowledged, but black history is every day. You know, I mean, I don't stop making history just because the month is over. This is the last day of Black History Month, but black history doesn't stop, you know, just because, you know, the month is over and, you know, folks feel like, you know, okay, let's move on to the next thing and, you know, celebrate something else. You know, okay, H stop you saying everything. Well, what? No. Nah. I don't agree with your statement, Guts and Glory. I don't agree with your statement. I mean, you know, you can speak your piece, but I mean, you don't have to, you know, curse about it. We're not gonna get into the whole cursing thing inside the chat, you know, but like I said, if you don't like the movie, you don't like the movie. This isn't about the movie per se. This is about a soul, what's going on. So this is about black history, the separation, the divisions, you know, understanding that, you know, hey, look, it's really one and the same. You know, some people would argue it's not one and the same, but I challenge you to that because I say, you know, we as black people have affected American culture, and American culture has an effect on us. You know, when we do things, when we invent stuff, when we do stuff, it doesn't just benefit our community, it benefits the communities, you know, all around. You know, it's something to, you know, be noticed and appreciated and accepted, you know, throughout society, especially American society. The problem comes is that due to, you know, maybe assimilation or, you know, maybe, you know, certain insensitivities that come, you know, people have separations and divisions that they hold on to. So this is not a popular statement that I'm making right now. Guts and Glories, no, I like the movie. I'm not talking about the white people. I'm talking about pretending to jump with a. I'm not, what are you saying? No, I like the movie. I'm not talking about the white. Or the pretending to get jump at the Black Panther movies. Sorry, I didn't. Yeah. No, Guts and Glories. I'm not saying that you can't voice your opinion. But like I said, I try to keep it clean, especially in the chat. I don't, the cursing thing and all that stuff, I try not to do. You know, it's not so much of a rule, just so much of decency. I try not to, have my live streams get into a whole bunch of vulgarity and stuff like that. And I do have children and teenagers and stuff like that may watch my stuff. Now, if this is late night, if this is like 12 midnight and you said that, that's not a problem. Say what you have to say. What's up, Noble Girl Gamer? I appreciate you for coming through. Soul, I seen you. H Top, everybody, Pioneer, So like I said, I mean, it's all good, the deaths of three Boston Maccas was a black sailor named Crispus Attucks. Yeah, Crispus Attucks is definitely a part of American history as well. Like I said, that's something you just don't separate. I'm glad that you're good, Noble Girl Gamer. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. But like I said, this is just my thoughts. These are my opinions. I don't say this to be the ultimate truth. I don't say this to cause any controversy, any stir up, or anything like that. I'm the same. Well, the kids watching the channel. Yeah, no, definitely great. You got to keep it light. I'm not going to say I don't have any innuendos and things that happen, funny jokes or little side things that are said, but usually that's for the late night stuff. And if it gets to that point, then I have to mark it private or unlisted or something like that. Sometimes I've been at bars and stuff like that, and my niece is like, with Uncle Mel, where was you at? And I'm like, I'm not going to, highlight that, Yeah, nah, you're funny. You're funny, Green Bay Wacky. It's all good. Nah, but I guess my message is more of an inclusion, more of, like, hey, this matters what we all do as far as a society, as far as our cultures and stuff like that. They're one, they're intertwined, everything touches everything, I think there should be more diversity in films and TV shows myself. Yeah, there should be more diversity. There should be more diversity in society, as well. Nah, you didn't cause any ruckus, Guts and Glories. It's just, I don't want anything to be put out of context. I don't want anybody to feel like it's going to be a war inside the chat or anything like that. I try not to do that. I have comedy at Romel, but I can't put it on this channel. It's all good, Gray. I mean, like I said, you just make sure you set up different channels and whatnot. If something is a little bit more mature, set up something, mark everything to private or mark it unlisted or 18 and above, stuff like that you could do with that. There's a way around that, by just, working that out. I wish everyone would get along and love each other. Yeah, I wish so too, Green Bay, but we live in a world where people profit off of division, off of strife, off of tension. Who wants war? I have strategically playing Battleship. Well, I suck at Battleship. I haven't played Battleship since I was a teenager. But I hear you though. You suck my Battleship drone worship. It was a round one. Pioneer is funny. It's funny what he's saying. Somebody's calling. I can't take that call. I can't take that call from Rebel State Sovereign. But I'll probably be there a little later or something like that. I have to decline that call. I was gonna do that. Yeah, no, you could do that, great. Definitely, you could make that happen. You could work that out and whatnot. Like I said, I got different channels and stuff like that I haven't even begun to put content and stuff on there. But that's what it is. And for those folks that know her and love her, Cargo 619 is live now. And in a few minutes, I might probably go chop in and see what's going on with her and check her out. Because I think I pretty much got my point across. I don't have to reiterate too much and whatnot. Like I said, I'll wrap this up in a few minutes. But for those folks, you kind of get the point. Like I said, I didn't elaborate and go too deep into anything because, like I said, I'm not trying to get into a whole dissertation. I'm not trying to, flex or anything like that. I'm just trying to say that, the histories are one and the same. When a black person does something in America, you've done something in that country, to affect that country and whatnot. I just don't like how people are trying to cause a problem around the movie just because it contains a lot of people of the same race. Well, some people do that, Gus and Glory, just because, maybe they don't want to see something like that. People have different prejudices. People have different stereotypes that they want to exist. They have different things that they want people to, be subservient or subjected to. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just what it is. I seen Rebel State just send me a message. I don't know, Green Bay Wacky. If you speak to him, then just let him know I'm coming over there. I'm gonna grab some food. Yeah, much love to you as well, Green Bay Wacky. I appreciate you for coming through. thank you for staying even just for a minute, a second, whatever it is. That's funny. Well, like I said, you want to type a paragraph in YouTube comments, but it lets you do what it does, drone worship. But I appreciate you. You could always email me, or I come back on your live stream or something like that. Maybe we could talk. I don't know how it is. I got to get me a laptop, which I've been saying I'm gonna do for a while, so I can set up and start actually having conversations with people and lengthen it. I'm a fan of the character, and I would like to enjoy the movie as others do, without the nonsense. Yeah, yeah, guts and glory. I mean, people politicize things and make things racial and whatnot. But what are you going to do with that? Some people just want to believe what they want to believe and think what they want to think. Like I said, some people will see what I'm saying and they'll say, hey, how could this man, say that the cultures are one and the same, or the history is one and the same. The cultures don't have to be the same, but the history, it is what it is. There's diversity and whatnot. Massive raspberry nose that came out of. Wow, that's funny. I'm not going to repeat all that common drone worship, but you hold on to that raspberry, it is what it is with that, Rebel, I'm going to get to you. I see your call, but I'm in the live stream right now, so I got to decline that. I definitely got to decline that. I'm just going to finish this up, and then I'll be with you, Rebel, in a few minutes, like I said. But I'm just trying to figure this out and flesh this out here. And definitely appreciative to all the folks that are in this live stream. I didn't expect folks to come in so quick on it, but this is what it is. Like I said, I wish I had some more deep thoughts to really profound and postulate on it. But I know before Black History Month ended, I wanted to say that, the histories are one and the same. You can't really separate us based upon, the fact that we've done things to, inspire, to affect, to, even hurt, help or whatever American history. You don't have, some of the things that have happened on the other side without, black folks, what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Thank you, Gray. I appreciate it as well. Gotta go. A nice day. Stay frosty. Stay frosty to you as well. I appreciate you for coming through. You sound like one of Grim Reaper's people, if you're not Grim Reaper as well. But it's all good with that. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just see too many divisions. I just see too many things, pulled apart and made about race and made about, the different, I don't know, divisions that we have in society. And I'm not going to sit here and think that on one live stream in a couple of minutes that everything is going to be solved. And just because I said it, people are going to accept it. And that's not the case. I'm just putting it out there that, there are black people that believe that the history is one and the same. I don't take the history and try to separate it and pull it away from, American history. Mr. Rocker Vlogs, what's up? Thank you for coming through. Black history doesn't end just because the month is over. Yeah, it is something that continues. And that's one of the things that I want people to understand, that just because Black History Month is ending doesn't mean, black people stop making history. It doesn't mean that we stop being influential, and just subsequent part of, a major part of like American society. That's with anybody. People have made the joke. They say, well, what if you had, a White History Month? How would you feel about that? And then some people that would respond to that saying that the reason there is a Black History Month is because of the oppression of black people and whatnot. So that's what happens with that. Melmo's channel, how she approves. That's interesting. I appreciate that. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know. Like I said, it's just we still have a long way to go with race, with cultures, with people being included. A fight that the next generation will have to take up and will push on to the forefront. I assume you know who. No, I do not drone worship. I do not know who that is. But like I said, as I wrap this up, I'm just grateful to all the folks who've come through, who've supported, who've listened. Like I said, hopefully I wasn't all over the place. But again, like I said, just because Black history is ending and March is coming in tomorrow doesn't mean that Black history is over. Doesn't mean that it's not a part of American history. Doesn't mean that these are two things that you separate from the rest of the culture. And I understand that it's necessary to acknowledge just certain contributions that the black community has made. And that's where I stand with that. I stand that, it is important to be recognized and acknowledged, as black folks and what we have done, but that's not the whole story. You should look up the teachings. Oh, okay. I will. I will. Should I even write that down? I might have to write that down. I don't have a pen on me. Just text it to me or send it to me, Drone Worship, because I should have a pen in front of me, and I don't have a pen. I was about to say I don't have a friend. I don't know where the pen is at. Forgive me. Just send it to me after the video was uploaded, Drone Worship. But for the most part, I thank everybody for stopping by. Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. Thank you for listening. I'm out.